A single headline explodes across every phone in America. She asked for it. Not a random troll, not a late-night meme. Those 4 words are splashed on sports tickers, debate shows, and your timeline right now, riding beside one jaw-dropping update. Jacy Sheldon, officially dismissed after a knee to Caitlin Clark's groin. Hold up, dismissed? The WNBA just sidelined a first-round rookie and ignited the biggest rules firestorm the league has ever seen. All because their brightest superstar finally said, enough. If you thought Clark's record-shattering scoring or her court-long logo threes were dramatic, wait until you hear the real story behind that hit, the 72-hour silence that followed, and the rumor whispering through front offices right now that could flip the league on its head. Stay locked in, because once you know why some insiders claim Clark invited this from day one. Caitlin Clark's rookie season was a thriller. Sold-out arenas, record TV ratings, and merch flying faster than jerseys in the Jordan era. Yet beneath the confetti lived a very different current, one few dared to say aloud. The rumor? Senior execs allegedly told refs behind closed doors, let the game be physical. She can handle it. She feeds on drama. Nobody's owning the quote, and no memo has surfaced, but players from 3 separate teams have hinted at a soft green light to test Clark's toughness. Former coaches have called it rookie hazing on steroids, and if you watched her first 10 games, you saw the evidence. Shoulder bumps off the ball, sneaky hip checks in transition, endless hacks denied by the whistle. Sound wild? Maybe, but remember last season's gossip cycle around Sabrina Ionescu. Similar whispers claimed she needed to earn superstar calls. The league never confirmed it, yet Sabrina admitted on a podcast she heard some stuff and just had to hoop through it. So whether that directive is real or just locker room legend, one truth stood tall. Clark was absorbing more contact than any rookie since the league began tracking advanced hits. And the more she scored, the harder the blows landed. But speculation soon turned into a single moment no replay could erase. 81 seconds left in a tight Fever Sun matchup. Indiana leads by 3. Clark swings a wraparound dime to Kelsey Mitchell, plants, and sprints up court to reset. Then, bam, Jacy Sheldon extends her right knee, square into Clark's groin. There's no shielding, no slip. Bodies collide. Clark folds. The arena gasps. Slow-mo captures 2 unforgiving frames. Sheldon's knee locked and rising. Referee's eyes glued right to the impact point. Whistle nowhere to be heard. Clark rocks to the hardwood, palms clutching her thigh. 5 full seconds tick. Crowd noise dives from roar to uneasy hush. Commentators stumble. Looks like contact? And still, no call. Indiana burns a timeout just to breathe. Clark limps to the bench, wincing hard enough to make every replay segment for the next 48 hours. Trainers whisper, groin strain, maybe worse. Twitter rages. Clips hit 8 figures by dawn, and an entire fan base types the same 2 words, do something. Yet, what came next was not action, but emptiness. You'd think the league office would jump on a viral injury to its golden ticket. Pressers, medical updates, maybe even a public ref evaluation. Nope. First night, nothing. Second morning, nothing. Third sunset, a single hidden line on WNBA.com's disciplinary ledger. Jacy Sheldon, suspended 1 game. That's it. No Engelbert podium moment. No referee accountability report. No promise of improved protection for marquee players. In effect, a $1.1 billion sport shrugged. Fans lost it. Hashtag Protect Caitlin trended for 13 straight hours. Players subtweeted eyeball emojis. Insiders leaked that Fever executives were ready to explode behind closed doors. But the biggest pushback hit the wallet, not the timeline. Because if the league wouldn't speak, the spectators would scream through their credit cards. By sunrise on day 4, all-star resale platforms looked like a stock market crash. Courtside seats dropped 48%. Middle bowl rows went from $275 to just take them. One viral screenshot showed a fan listing 2 tickets for a single dollar, with the caption, I'd rather donate than endorse a silent league. Sponsors noticed. Rumor has it, at least one athletic apparel giant requested an officiating security briefing before renewing next year's jersey deal. Broadcasters asked if Clark's minutes would be limited for health, and behind every hushed Zoom call hovered the same fear. If the show's star is unsafe, how long until viewers flip the channel? Strangely, through all the noise, Clark stayed radio silent until practice day. One microphone changed everything. No entourage, no team PR rep cutting off questions. Just Caitlin, ponytail pulled tight, leaning into a cluster of reporters. I love this game. I play with passion, but it's hard when it feels like I'm the only one not getting protected. I just want fair whistles, the same as anyone else. The league has to decide what kind of game it wants to be. 83 words. Calm, almost gentle, yet the tremor in sports media was instant. Within an hour, ESPN's lower third read, Clark calls out WNBA. The Athletic ran a push alert. Fever star? Only one not protected. By sundown, those words had ricocheted through every sports desk in North America. The message? Clear. She wasn't begging. She was laying down a marker. Protect your talent or watch the house of cards collapse. But Clark's quote did more than shake headlines. It triggered a domino chain across the union, the broadcast booths, and even, rumor says, the NBA penthouse itself. Because when your brightest light speaks, everyone listens. Whether they admit it or not, the first piece to fall came from within. The WNBPA scheduled a late-night emergency call. Agenda leaked, officiating standards, injury prevention, league accountability. Word spread that a potential mid-season walkout, while unlikely, was no longer off the table. Next, All-Star Weekend reshuffled. Clark withdrew from the three-point contest, replaced by teammate Lexi Hull. The league spun it as a precaution, yet a sideline video caught Clark grimacing during a simple warm-up lunge. Fans feared the worst. Partial groin tear, a 4 to 6 week nightmare. Broadcast execs held their breath. Ratings had already doubled year over year, driven largely by Clark's nationwide pull. Lose her? Sponsors might follow. Then came the most unexpected ripple. Adam Silver, a 32-second clip of the NBA commissioner telling a CNBC anchor he believes the WNBA will review contact standards, became overnight gospel, retweeted by everyone from LeBron to Sue Bird. Silver never said Clark's name, but everybody knew the subtext. Momentum was surging, yet amid external pressure, one cynical narrative crawled out from the shadows, and that's where today's title gets its sting. Sports talk shows, desperate for contrarian takes, latched onto an ugly sentence. She asked for it. It started with one ex-player on a regional podcast. Look, Clark chirps, sells calls, drains logo bombs, and flexes. That comes with smoke. She asked for it. The clip hit TikTok, then mainstream TV. Pundits parroted the phrase to win ratings. Never mind the seismic backlash. Soon casual fans were debating whether Clark's swagger made her a magnet for hit jobs. As if charisma justifies cheap shots. That narrative is poison, yet it exposes the league's crossroads. Let it grow unchecked and risk framing star injuries as deserved. Stamp it out too aggressively, and critics will scream you're coddling athletes. Caught in that bind, front office suits faced a brutal choice. Evolve officiating overnight, or watch your flagship product morph into a demolition derby disguised as basketball. And hovering over every strategy meeting was one final gnawing worry. If early medical whispers prove right and Clark's strain worsens into a tear, she could miss the All-Star showcase and a chunk of the playoff push. The Fever cling to 8th seed dreams, lose their centerpiece, and those hopes vanish. Along with primetime windows, executives fought hard to secure. But it's bigger than standings. Clark is not just one athlete, she's a movement. She's proof that young girls will fill arenas, that highlight reels can go toe-to-toe with NBA dunks, that women's hoops commands global attention when marketed right. Protect her or any superstar, and you signal a new era. Skill over brute force, narrative over negligence, growth over gatekeeping fail, and the WNBA risks drifting back to the margins it spent decades clawing out of. Which outcome arrives depends on the next whistle, the next suspension, the next time a ref sees a forearm and decides whether to call the DMN foul. A single play exposed a fracture deeper than any box score rivalry. Jacy Sheldon's knee told one story, the league's silence told another. Clark's measured words? They framed the stakes. This isn't about one bruise. It's about a culture choosing between evolution and erosion. So where do we stand? If a generational megastar can drag a sport into the mainstream, yet still limp through unchecked hits, what message echoes to every kid dreaming of WNBA spotlight? That greatness is fragile, and leadership even more so. The league can pivot, tighten officiating, empower refs, make player safety its North Star, or it can double down on a let-'em-play ethos that sacrifices future growth for a misguided badge of toughness. One knee, one suspension, one rising voice. Sometimes the loudest highlight isn't a buzzer beater, it's the silence after a star falls. The question now is simple. Will the WNBA answer before the crowd stops waiting?